Kanye West is apparently working on Donda 2. It's 2022 and there's another rumored album that's apparently going to be released. We have a bunch of new news that we got to go through, guys. This is major. And today we're going to be going through everything we know so far about Donda 2, because if you've been keeping up to date these past couple of weeks, Kanye's name has surfaced up again, especially with the people he's been cooking with, especially with some things that have surfaced with the new single and a bunch of other stuff. So guys, if you want to stay updated for this whole rollout, hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell, because we're going to be keeping you updated with everything Kanye West related. Plus, if you guys want to come bump Donda 2 with us, if it actually ends up dropping, we're doing live album reactions on our Patreon plan. So every week we go into a live stream with our community. You guys come into the live stream, have this cool party with us. You know, we go through the album track by track, see what you guys are feeling, and it's a super fun experience. So if you guys want to access the Patreon plan, the link to that is in the description underneath the reaction tier and the crew tier. So let's get into this, man. Donda 2 2022. How is this happening, man? Like, we've covered so much material on the podcast so far. We've talked about so many different scenarios, but it seems like Kanye West comes out and everyone has to talk about it. So what's your take on all this, man?
Listen, as a Kanye fan, of course I'm excited, but like, this is nothing new for us. We've gotten Kanye hinting at sequels like Jesus is King 2, also Yeezus 2, and they never kind of end up coming out. So with this one, I'm excited, but I'm also skeptical that we might never see a project come out of this. But let's actually go through when we actually first got the announcement of Donda 2. So this actually came on January 3rd, 2022, when Steven Victor, who's actually an A&R at Universal and a very respected music executive, told Complex Ye has started working on his new masterpiece, Donda 2. And this kind of sent the whole industry in a frenzy. Everyone was freaking out, like, how the fuck is he actually working on the sequel only like 6 months after the original is out? And then we actually got confirmation from Kanye himself that the album is in the works, because he shared this text exchange between himself and Moneybagg Yo. And during that text message, he said, "I got to lock in with you on Donda 2. Kanye texted that to Moneybagg Yo, confirming that Donda 2 is a real fucking thing. So with these kind of updates, does that give you any more hope that this might actually happen?
I don't know, because he always does this to me, man. I'm in the motion. It's the new year. I want new music. I want Kanye to drop, and then boom, never hear about this ever again. But what's interesting is that if you kind of go back, I mean, Yeezus 2 actually ended up transforming into the life of Pablo, and then with Jesus is King 2, I mean, nothing ever ended up happening out of it. So we'll have to see. It's still in a shady area, but we do have some sort of a confirmation. But let's go through every artist that Kanye's been working with in the studio. So either people he's been spotted with, or even some people that he's released music with recently. So of course he's been working with The Game. They just released their new single called Eazy. Now Ye and Pusha T were spotted shooting a music video together.
Did you hear the beat in back for that song?
That's gonna sound absolutely ridiculous. I don't know whose album it's gonna end up on.
I think that one's for Pusha T's album, just based on how grimy that beat was. I think that's the case for that one. But apart from that, we also saw that Ye and Cardi B have plans apparently to shoot a music video at the Balenciaga store in Miami. And by the way, Kanye himself has confirmed that this album is being recorded in Miami, which is pretty interesting. Apart from that, Ye's also been seen in the studio with A$AP Rocky, Travis Scott, Moneybagg Yo, Scarface, and will.i.am. And Kanye's girlfriend Julia Fox has also confirmed that Ye has been making new music with Future, and apparently it's crazy music. So based on all these names, which one gets you the most hyped, and which other name do you want to see in the mix in the coming weeks, let's say?
Well, I want to see how him and Pusha T are going to link up for Donda again. You know, regardless, if it ends up on Pusha's new album, I'm happy, but always seeing them in the mix is interesting. But I'm kind of fascinated about the Cardi B era. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not your conventional feature. I mean, I don't know how it would work, but I mean, I trust Kanye. Like, usually whenever he's able to set up a collaboration, there's usually a lot of potential. So that would be interesting to see. Probably more of a pop appeal to it. That would probably be my guess.
Yeah,
but
I'm not too excited about
Rocky. A$AP Rocky is fucking interesting. Like, I've been hearing some snippets off of All Smiles, and like, I could kind of see what type of energy he's in, and if he could have that transpire, you know, within this new Donda era, and we could see a collaboration happen, it would not only be good for his rollout if Donda 2 ends up coming out before All Smiles. It's all hypothetical, by the way, but it would be a fucking crazy showcase. Plus, we didn't get him on Donda, so it's like, now what would that modern collab sound like? But let's actually get into some reports of a Donda 2 movie being worked on right now. So the Daily Mail came out and said that apparently there is something worked on. So what do you think about all this? And take us through some further updates with it.
Well, yeah, so Daily Mail reported that there's been photos surfacing of Kanye West and Julia Fox. She's kind of posing by like grabbing onto him. He's holding her waist. He's wearing a mask. And They looked very cinematic for a photo shoot, and apparently Daily Mail says that Kanye is actually planning to release a Donda film in accompaniment with Donda 2, the actual album. And Julia Fox, who of course is an actress and starred in Uncut Gems, is apparently going to star in the movie. So
Cool.
It's pretty interesting to see them, link up creatively. So yeah, there's not, further detail on the movie, but we've seen Kanye do this in the past with his films that he did, for example, for Runaway, and he's also worked on movies for Donda and Donda with Child in 2020, but those films never came out. So he has a lot of shit vaulted. He does like to do his fair share of films, but with Donda 2, it could be interesting because he didn't really have that going on for the first Donda. But back to the feature, just to backtrack a little bit, I do want to say that A$AP Rocky's interesting because they made jukebox joints. That was an absolute slapper. And in terms of other features that I might want to see, there's a lot of names that come to mind. I mean, Frank Ocean is one for sure because if it's on the outro of, something, or if it's just him providing his own track like Frank's track on The Life of Pablo, I like to see them work together. Apart from that, I mean, the more lyricists, the merrier. If I get another J Electronica verse or maybe a Lupe Fiasco verse, that would make me super happy. But what's one other name you'd want to see link up with Ye?
Oh, that's good. That's a good question. I had said A$AP Rocky already because that's who.
No, out of people that he hasn't been with yet, who do you want to see come into the mix?
Baby Keem again. I think Baby Keem would be pretty cool to see again on this album. I want to see the way that he's going to come into 2022. Maybe something on Donda would be nice, but I want to move on to something else, all right? So we've talked about a lot of information, but it low-key means fuck all if there's no release date, all right? So we've been in this boat before. Do you think this is happening this year? And my take on it is that we might be seeing a part 2 of the 2018 run that he executed a couple of years ago. So take me through this, man. What are you saying with this?
So you think a Wyoming Run Part 2?
I think something similar because think about how many people he's working with. Think about, the amount of potential there is to collab. Think about how many people haven't dropped their fucking albums in so long.
Well, look at it this way, right? Pusha T has an album to come out. He was part of that Wyoming Run. Kid Cudi has an album, actually 2 albums to drop this year. So maybe he executive produces those and releases his own solo album.
Jeez, the fans would be
eating, man. That would be amazing. But speaking on the release date, listen, with Kanye West, it's practically impossible to actually predict a release date. And when he himself gives you a release date, even that becomes hard to believe. So it's kind of hard to actually speculate on it. When do I think it could come out? I mean, I would say potentially. I know it's a bit eager, but before April 15th, because on April 15th, Coachella starts, and of course, Kanye is headlining one of those stages. So maybe he wants to have new music to perform at this huge performance. It's a possibility, kind of unlikely though. If you had to ask me, maybe this gets released towards the end of the year, like late summer, early fall, or it gets pushed to 2023 and becomes a totally different fucking album altogether. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I have a weird feeling about this album. I don't think it's happening, low-key.
You don't think it's happening at all?
I don't think it's happening. I think he's going to concentrate on maybe other people's music. I think he's going to maybe go on to some executive stuff. But
I do find it weird that he's dropping a sequel to Donda because we've gotten like over 30 songs from that Donda era. You know what I mean?
But I mean, if you look at the fan reception, though, like most people, I mean, I would take it for fuck's sakes. But
who wouldn't?
Most people would go into the album with full of anticipation. But just talking about the drop and like, do we need it? Yes. You know what? The iron's hot for him, man. Like this guy could come through and really, really, really make an even bigger splash this year and put himself on a completely different level. Like that's what's crazy is that if this actually ends up going down, his run from 2021 to 2022 will be extremely impressive. And I was talking with one of my boys, Vaughn, about this, and he was saying that he thinks that he might do an MBDTF run again, like where he was, executive producing or producing all of these albums in that span of time. So, like,
you mean the Wyoming run?
No, but like earlier on in the 2010 decade, so the MBDTF sessions, the Watch the Throne, the Cruel Summer, like that was all done in a span of 2 years. So, what the theory is that he's going back on that run to start the decade off, and then he's going to be playing out the rest of the decade and seeing, okay, what does he do with his career? So it's a lot of interesting stuff, but where does he even go sonically if this was to happen? Like, what's your take on that?
I mean, listen, if it's Donda 2, I'm expecting music that's similar to the original in terms of that mix of gospel and other hip-hop sounds like drill or trap or whatever he's inspired to make. Apart from that, I mean, lately, even on the song Eazy that just came out, he seems to be wanting to kind of put his private life on full display for everybody, which he kind of did do on Donda, where he's taking us through his emotions with the divorce and all that kind of stuff. So I am expecting Kanye to remain vulnerable. I am expecting him to raise his pen game, because there is snippets of him freestyling that have been leaked lately. So yeah, I'm just expecting Kanye to get into his lyrical bag and also keep up those gospel aesthetics. But apart from that, I mean, yeah, I just hope that Kanye kind of returns to making music that's very healing for people in terms of helping people with mental health. Because to me, in the last couple of years, the best piece of music he's done was Kids See Ghosts, and that's kind of the area he strived in, was kind of bringing these messages of mental health and how to use that and use it to actually heal. So,
well, I'm going to piggyback off that,
Yeah.
all right? If you actually go into the Donda track list, I feel as if some of the best material within the original track list lies within that, maybe that same area of finding hope and really furthering your knowledge. And songs, example, 24 for me, or songs like Come to Life. Like, I have controversial takes on Come to Life, but still, it's a major standout on the album. So I agree with you. I do think that there's a lot of room for him to play in, and I just want to hear how he's going to diversify the production, because, of course, Donda was very synth heavy and there was a lot of gospel elements into it, but now it's like, could you do something else?
we need the fucking drums back for a lot of songs.
What's going on? What type of area could we move in? So there's a lot of interesting things happening with Donda 2, guys. Hopefully this ends up coming out, and we guarantee you, if it ends up coming out and there's more news, we promise we'll keep you updated on everything. So guys, thank you for watching this video. It's always a pleasure doing this type of content, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we will be doing live album reactions on a weekly basis on our Patreon plan. So if you guys want to access that, the link is in the description. Thank you for watching this again, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for watching the full video, and if you're new to NFR, be sure to hit that subscribe button, as we'll be keeping you guys updated with the latest album releases in terms of update videos, album reviews, and our own original series on the weekly. And we also have our Patreon plan available in the description below, where you can access weekly bonus content and also access to our Discord. So be sure to check out all of that, and we'll catch you in the next one.